Hey everybody, this is Grace. Boy, my haze always come out really loud to me. But when I listen to it, it doesn't sound as loud. Anyway, I wanted to say, I came out here. It's so freaking cold. When I got in my SUV, it said, and turned the SUV on so I could have the heater. It told me that there could be ice on the roads. Well, yeah, but our temperature. Last night the high was, I think, in the 50s, maybe even 60, which is, yeah, it's been like real cold and hot, cold and warm, then cold and warm. And then last night, then during the day, it just drops suddenly. Oh boy. And, but right now it's saying 40, yeah, whatever. But the inside it said something like 30 something, and then the real feel was 29, so below zero. Below freezing. Anyway, and I came out here, and of course my little buddy, he had to come out here with me. The little, he's a year old, and he's a American Pit Bull Terrier, and he reminded me recently, I realized it is of a catfish. You know, when the way he turns his body, you know, sometimes you see the, you know, icons, emblems, or whatever that look of a catfish. But he refused to not go. He had to go. Just sit out in my car, sit out in my SUV. Okay. He's a little funny. He's very quiet, at least. But anyway, I came out here. I wasn't going to come out today because of the weather, but how cold it is. But I felt like I need to, because today I was working on something that's been happening for 6 days now. All of a sudden, just all of a sudden, 6 days ago, I started getting a bunch of phone calls. And they were from phone numbers that, you know, people call them toll-free numbers. Sorry about that, but I'm losing my voice the past few days. But they were the numbers, you know, the 800, starting with the number 8, like 800. They skipped 811, 822, and 899. All the other ones they included, you know, like 800. 833, 844, 855, 866, 877, and 888. Okay, and they will call several times a day. I think it was this morning, it was, I think, around 7 in less than an hour. Different numbers. They're never the same number. So blocking each one does not make any difference, because they just find another number. And, yeah, so that's that. It started, like I said, 6 days ago. I wonder what happened 6 days ago that suddenly all this. So I did call. I've reported to them, but I did call, and you know, for help. And there was a woman around my age, and she was real nice. She said, it happens to me. She said, I know exactly what you're going through. She said, because it happens to me. And she said, right now, as I'm sitting here just this morning, I already have 3 of them. And she said she goes in and blocks them. I said, well, what? And she said, but the thing is, or she said that they'll change the number, just one number off. And I said, well, then it doesn't really do any good to block them, you know, because they just, I said, I could sit here for the rest of my life just blocking the, you know, random numbers they pick. And anyway, she and I were joking, laughing about, well, I can remember when. She was very friendly. I think it's unusual to get somebody very friendly. It was nice. It was good. Have a conversation. But anyway, so, you know, she told me how to go in there. She said that they don't have a program just yet of how you know, that will stop that they're working with it and trying to do that so people would stop getting all these calls and everything. And I told her, I said, well, I had to turn the ringer off my phone because it was just blowing up all day long. And when it was, even into the evening, just more and more and more. I cannot tell you. I said I was getting maybe 15, 20 calls a day. Can you imagine? You're just sitting there, and you know, you're expecting somebody might call that you need to call, and they're just calling and calling, and having to go look at the phone, all that. I said I had to turn the ringers off because it was so distracting. And she said she knew. She was going through it herself. And anyway, I told her that something had popped up and it said to do it, to use it one time. I said, I don't know if it was that day, for spam calls and all. And I remember that Adam has done something about his that will show up as spam. His was always different. We just got new phones a few months ago, and his always did different. But anyway, I couldn't remember if I turned it on or off or what. So she told me how to go in and do it, put one thing that would block anybody that's not on my contact list, which is not good because doctor's offices and some people will call from other phone lines, so they would be blocked too. But I went in there and I saw the same thing that I was telling her about, and I didn't know the name of it. It was in there. So I set all of them set up, anything I could find to set up so they won't be bothering me. Okay. So, right. I set it up. It's part of my voice, seriously. This is something else. But I set them all up. Didn't have any phone calls. I even took a nap. I had turned the ringer back on. I was happy. I was happy. But it didn't actually have the same thing that the way she was telling me. It didn't have the same, I had written it. She said, write it down. So I did. I called on that phone instead of the other phone. But anyway, I should have called, and I knew to call the other phone, but no. I just wanted to see if there was something that, they could just tell you to do this, like she did. She just told me. So anyway, that was fine. And I went to sleep. I took a nap. So I don't get enough sleep at night. I was up at like 2 o'clock and went back to sleep around 6. Yeah. And this insomnia is getting worse. And, yeah. Anyway, so I was happy, and I woke up and I said, what? Oh, somebody texted me. So I looked and it was somebody said, hi Grace, did you get my letter? Who writes letters these days? And then they're going to text you? Really? Seriously? So yeah, but it wasn't an 800 number. It was a local prefix number, and it was a number I don't know. So figured out how to, I didn't actually figure out how. I thought there was a thing where you don't have to read it. I did not read it. I didn't push to read it, but I did delete it without going in and reading it. I could see it, but if that makes any sense, without actually opening it, I still could see it. And I'm like, how would they get my name? But of course, anyway, there's a way. So again with the voice. So then I, blocked it. Well, I couldn't block it even. I was trying to figure out how to block it because it doesn't show up as a call. I couldn't block it. And I said, screw this, but I deleted it and figured out how to do that without opening it. And just a few minutes later, another one of those 888 numbers and one of those 8 whatever numbers. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to start again. Oh my goodness, really. And I went back in there to make sure it hadn't moved hadn't somehow did it. I'm like, what are you going to do? What can you do? You can't do anything. Like she was saying, yeah, if I'm expecting my, she sounded like my age, so there must be adult children. And she said, if I'm expecting my, children to call, there's some kind of emergency or something, I have to leave mine on. And I said, yeah, I had to turn the volume off, and if somebody needs to call me or something, yeah, So that's the problem. I don't want to turn it off. The ring. So it's frustrating. Okay, yeah, I'm not the kind of person who likes to be at the mercy of just people trying to make a buck. And she told me, she said, I said, why would this all of a sudden start? She said, you may have just opened up something, and it could have been true. The way she explained it is like you go in there and you're searching for, you Google something or you whatever, you're searching for some term that's just a regular term, something about a TV show, and they have those pop-ups and stuff, and she said they'll catch it on that. If you accidentally click on it it will catch you. These somehow have programmed when they catch you. Okay, why is my alarm going off? Anyway, I'm on phone. But yeah, I could see that. So, wow. And it's on anything. Those ones that you sometimes you can read and it goes to go to the next page, go to the next page, and they have all these ads popping up. From what she said, that's what it was, and she said that's how it happened to her. And they have it somehow programmed to where that they get your phone number from that, and then they start blasting you with these. So great, I mean, what can you do? You're at their mercy, really. And yeah. And it was funny is lately I've been watching some, YouTube things, and people say, like one of them, somebody was saying something like, I should put their phone number. That's doxing. That's against terms of service, from what I understand. But to put somebody's phone number up and let people, start blowing up their phones, and that's what's happened to me. But it's a 800 whatever, a random, yeah. But they said, I don't think that would be something that people would pay for a whole bunch. I don't even know how they do it. How do they do it? All these places that want to call you, or is it just a bunch of different places? And they each have their own 8 whatever numbers, I don't think it would be that from individuals that are watching videos or something, because what's weird is, wouldn't they have their phone number then? You know what I'm saying? You blow up their phone, don't they have your phone number? And they can report your number to the police or whatever, I guess. It's harassment or something. And it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. But anyway, hopefully I don't know what that one number was. If it was something special that could get through. I mean, why would it be special, that one? But at this point, usually every day, I've had a lot more. But since I turned that off, that was just the only one, plus the text. Like, if they start texting me, really? I get those texts every once in a while that, your house on this one. I'm like, I don't have a house on that. I don't have a house. But, you can still see them when it comes up, but you don't have to click on it. You get a gist of what it is about. But I get those every blue moon. I don't have a house there, so anyway, I think I'm going to go in and wrap this one up. But yeah, it's starting to smell in here, and I don't know if it's my little buddy. I should say that. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye.